Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
This is the Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, May the 8th, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching the Weather Xtreme video this morning. And let's get right to some Skycam imagery. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and there's a look at the sun rising over Trussville as we look off in the eastern horizon. River back within its banks in the vicinity of Demopolis as we look across the river at the RV park over there. And it looks like the water, like I say, within the banks of the Tombigbee River, at least at this location. And then a little bit further south, this is where I was yesterday, and we're looking at Mobile. Few morning clouds as we look out from the battleship Alabama. The surface map is somewhat complicated this morning, fairly simple for the southeastern U.S. We're dealing with a high-pressure system centered over North Florida, and that is keeping things pretty dry for us, as well as a combination of the upper atmosphere ridge that will be coming over us. You can see the ridge just to our west, and we're going to be dealing with that ridge and that trough you see on the northwestern coast of the U.S. We're going to be dealing with that for the next week or so. In the temperature map, we're looking at 60s climbing all the way up to Kansas City and southern Nebraska. And these, remember, these are lows. And look at all those 70s across Louisiana and Texas for the 5 a.m. temperatures. And across central Alabama, we're mild, I would say. 60 at Tuscaloosa, 64 at Birmingham, 54 at Anniston. So they're a little bit cooler over in the east central part of the state, but certainly a nice morning anyway. QPF-wise, we're not looking at a lot of rain for the next 5 days. As a matter of fact, most of our rain threat will come after this time period. This is for the 5 days. Storm Prediction Center outlooking slight risk for parts of South Dakota, Iowa, and Nebraska, extending down into a little bit of northwestern Missouri, as well as parts of Oklahoma and Texas, central Texas. On day 2, slight risk is in Illinois and parts of South Dakota. And then on day 3, it stays up in North Dakota and Wisconsin, and that is, not Wisconsin, Minnesota. And that is keeping things pretty unsettled up in that particular region. The 06Z GFS morning run here shows the surface high and keeping the southeastern U.S. dry for this Mother's Day. The ridge moves over us on Monday, and that's going to keep things pretty warm and dry for much of the upcoming week, as well as keeping warm. It's going to keep things very warm as we see probably a bit of a 850 millibar ridge or high inversion, and that will keep us dry and very warm with temperatures climbing to near or just slightly above 90 degrees. The ridge moves over us on Tuesday, and again we stay dry. Wednesday, still dry, but here comes the trough out of the west now, coming out of the Four Corners area, and that is going to kick the ridge, give it a pretty good kick as the ridge has to give way to the trough coming out of the Four Corners area, and that's still going to be dry on Thursday, I think. Very small chance we might see a shower in the afternoon hours, but I think that's very small. Then on Friday, the closed low shortwave sets up over the southern Great Lakes area, and that's going to be with us for several more days after this. And so that means we might see the possibility of a weak front come through the area. But once again, I think right now, especially this far out, I think the chances for any significant rain are pretty slim, and just introducing the small, slight chance, 20-30% chance that we'll see any kind of real rain. The closed low goes into a dumbbell kind of mode. You can see a short wave over the mid-Atlantic states on the east side of the closed low, and another short wave on the west side of the closed low, and those are dumbbelling around. The low stays pretty situated, but those short waves rotate around the closed low, and it looks like primarily for Saturday we're not going to see any significant chances for rain, but once again, because of the humidity and heat, we'll probably have to say at least a small chance, like a slight, maybe 20% or so. And then finally, the closed low still with us. And you know what James says, upper closed low, weatherman's woe. And this is Sunday the 15th, and indeed still with us. And it looks like the major trough is out over East Texas and eastern Oklahoma. So we'll probably be mostly dry, but with isolated showers. All right, extending out a little bit further, and there's that closed low stays with us all the way through the 19th. So we're going to be dealing with that on a regular basis starting next Friday or so and going all the way through the 19th. And then finally the ridge comes back in at the end of the period around the 23rd, and there's the ridge getting reestablished over the eastern half of the country. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. James Spann will be back at the helm once again on Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day once again, and Godspeed.
Sprinkle up some fun at the 13th Annual Buck Creek Festival in Old Town Helena's Amphitheater Park.
Join us May 13th and 14th for live music, food, arts and crafts, and the rubber duck race.
Deputy 5 and Mustang Sally highlight the festival. See you there!